oh, there it is. We will keep an eye on the comments to make sure that we post them. But I am having issues with my Instagram.
That's funny. You were having issues with that. I was having issues with my YouTube being connected. I just had to go in and reconnect it right now.
I'm going to remove this and start over again with you folks.
You would think that it's Mercury in retrograde, but I can definitely confirm that it is not Mercury in retrograde, at least not yet. I think we have March 14th is when Mercury will be retrograding in Aries. So all the tech issues, but I feel like part of it was Jupiter retrograding, and there was all kinds of, because Jupiter is the planet of expansion, growth, those types of things, and it was retrograding, and I feel like it was giving us some phantom Mercury retrograde vibes, especially with like tech stuff and obviously communication to a degree, but Mercury is the one that really rules that part of it. So it's very interesting. But it looks like I got my YouTube up while Daniel's working on his Instagram link. Instagram is up. Everyone's present and accounted for.
Instagram is up. We are ready to rock and roll, people. Welcome to the show.
I feel like starting over.
we take a week off and my whole thing gets reassessed. Christian and Daniel's show has been we've been on vacation for a couple of weeks, just taking. But yeah. Okay, so welcome everybody. So what else is happening? So to tell us before we start, since we don't have a guest today, why don't you tell us about the fair you went to?
Oh yeah, so Conscious Life Expo in LA. It was my first time going. I went with Iris, and she'd gone before, but it had been, I think, quite a few years. And I think when she went last, they were still having it at the Anaheim Convention Center. So it was kind of a different vibe. They had a bunch of booths set up, and it was kind of in different areas. There was like a downstairs big area, a side area with food, and then some places, and then like upstairs in like 3 sections. So it was like a super widespread. And with the day pass, you go and you can see some of the free workshops, and there are certain people that you can go and listen to their workshop. You have to purchase a ticket for it. So we just kind of wanted to feel out the vibe, because we're considering bringing Ascension Tech there as well too, maybe next year, and being able to showcase ourselves as well too. So that was kind of why we went. I ended up getting a new deck, which I'm really excited about. The girl, she kind of scared me. I was standing there with Iris, and then suddenly I hear this, "Would you like to pull a card?" And it like really scared me. I looked to the right, and she's standing like right next to me, and the cards are right there. And I was like, "Oh yeah, of course." So she had 2 decks, and I pulled one, and the message was so resonant. And she's a photographer. All of her deck, the photos are photos she's taken. So I was like, "Oh, that's a really cool concept." I've considered maybe doing that in some sort of way before, but not taking real action towards it. So, but I love the deck, and it's, she was a Gemini. I had to ask her, "What's your sign?" She said Gemini. And I don't know if she'll tune in at some point, but it made me laugh, because we know Geminis have a certain type of way of being perceived when it comes to romance or short romances, shall we say. So I was like, I wonder how many this Gemini has had, in her bed, so to speak, because it's kind of like a little bit of like a Playgirl magazine spread with some of them. It's not that much, but shirts off in some of them, and abs. And so as soon as I got home, I pulled a spread for Zav, or I pulled a card for Zav, and I was like, "See," and he was like, "Oh my gosh, like that's some spiritual deck."
So you bought is that what you said? You bought the deck?
I bought the deck, yeah. So when we have lunch, or when I see you next, I'll bring the deck so you can so we can pull a few cards for you, and you can look at them. But I love it, because even the messages are so great. I know I'm making it much more about the aesthetic, which I know Geminis aren't so opposed to, but really cool. I really am loving the messages. I pulled another card for myself today, and it was super resonant with what I feel like I've been kind of thinking about and processing. So so that was great. I didn't even really plan on buying anything. I kind of just wanted to feel it out, but I was glad that I did that. And then we kind of just got to go around. We got to see one of our friends, Steven, who is also a Rehu Tech practitioner. He flew down from Washington to be there for the weekend. So we got to see the Jedi workshop with him, where it was a lady, I'm totally blanking on her name. But she talked about how like the principles of the Jedi apply to the Orion Wars that have happened in the past. And she, it was really interesting, like living the Jedi life and having that spiritual path. And so that was neat. But overall, it was a really fun experience. It went by super fast. I think we're excited about the prospect of going next year, especially being able to do a presentation. I would love for us to be able to do Ascension Tech, Rahu Tech, something, even do some type of demo for myself, whether with channeling or I'm kind of feeling drawn to leadership stuff as well too lately. So it was cool. It was really neat. I definitely recommend it. It is kind of a neat experience. And Iris had pointed out too, I thought it was interesting. There wasn't a lot of younger people there. And I'm saying this as a almost 40-year-old now, but like there wasn't a ton of 20-year-olds. It felt like it was kind of the 30 plus club, which once Iris pointed out, I thought that is kind of interesting that there was, not, I would think there would be more younger people attending, but there's all kinds of expos and events happening all over the place all the time. So everyone can kind of find their niche and whatnot. So if anyone that's watching right now, if you've been to the Conscious Life Expo, or even if you were there this last weekend, I would love to hear your experience too. And, was there anything I missed? Oh, and one other thing, I kind of got a little bit starstruck. One of the girls that I follow on YouTube, she is an intuitive that uses dowsing rods. And then she also does Reiki videos where she does Reiki healings via the video. And her name's Megan Solar Glow. And as Iris and I were like walking to see where all the conference rooms and coming back, the crowd parted and I see her standing there before me. And I swear it was the dorkiest. I was like, hello, like so fangirl. And she was just kind of like, hi.
Security.
Security. Yeah. And I just pointed to Iris and I was like, it's her. Oh my gosh. It was, and she was sweet. She came back around and like, I didn't really get necessarily talk to her, but I really am enjoying her videos, her vibe. I like how she's approaching certain topics. And so it's kind of cool to see her in that light and get to see her in person and really like feel out her energy. And she definitely, you feel it when you see someone in videos, right? But feeling out her energy and being present with her too, you can definitely tell she's a healer. You can tell she's an intuitive. I kind of wanted to be like, let me give you a transmission. I want you to try out Rahu Tech. So I feel like at some point, hopefully, maybe it'll make its way to her, and other influencers, another way of just further empowering people. So that was my time. I recorded some video, so maybe I'll have video. I was going to try and get it together. It did not work for today's show, but some video of it that we can post. And then, I didn't have a chance to tell you this, Daniel, but we had a great time, Daniel and I, at our healing circle last week for the Rahu Tech Healing Circle that we hold monthly. And Daniel was one of, besides Iris, doing the transmissions on those who came for the healing circle. And I caught some footage, but of course, my camera, I'll tell the short story of it, but my camera was set to be too dark for the exposure. So you don't really see you guys. Like you can see your outline, but it's not, I had done something previously that I forgot to update the settings for. So I was really disappointed because I was like, if this was the right lighting level, oh my gosh, this would look so good. None of it's usable. So
we'll have to
next month, we'll have to do better. And I will make sure that it's going to look good because I'm excited to have more of that to show, our audience here. And then, just for marketing purposes, for people to see more of what the experience is like, to feel that out. And, even the manifestation meditation, I enjoy getting to channel for that during the healing circle. And I know the energy gets really interesting, but this last one that we had last week, they kind of switched up a bit of the process and flow with it. And I feel like it made it even more, more impactful. And I know you kind of spoke about it when we were in the pre-show, but would you like to share your manifestation and kind of anything that you've noticed since doing the manifestation meditation last week?
Yeah. So for those of you that are watching this either live or on replay, I took my first session back in. We talked about this in April.
Like March, April, early spring. Yeah.
So I've been working on now for like almost a year. Almost a year. February already. What I've been working on more lately is my acting path. Make sure that I connect to the right people to just rise a little bit. I've been acting now since 2008, so trying to just reach. And then in the last couple of days, I've gotten some invitations to stuff. I'm casting a web series. I'll let y'all know more when I know more. But I was casting a web series. I go to the table reading. I'm in one episode, in one scene, I have one line, so I'm not gonna like, but it's definitely the door after months of nothing. And then a friend of mine who does professional readings at SAG, I'm also part of SAG, sent out an invitation, and then today she was like, "Hey, we have an opportunity." I was like, "Damn it!" But I'm booked that day. But I know it's an open door, and I just know that more are coming. But not just that, just opening that path for work, the permission to give my energy to go and reach for things has been the really cool thing. And plus, okay, number one, you know how much I love volunteering for stuff. It's one of my passions to volunteer. And when I get to volunteer to do something that I'm passionate about, and that's also a profession, one of my careers paths. So to be in that session and to work with a couple of people who just genuinely want to hug you after you're done. And although mind you, I don't know that I talked about it that day, but one of the guests' energy was throwing me off balance. Like it was like the first guest that I worked on. When I was trying to do some stuff, it was throwing it felt like it threw me off balance. And I was like, "Whoa, pony! Like I'm in charge here." But I think we both felt that, like, whoa. And so then I could go back and go, well, this is where I'm noticing your barriers. And to just hear him go, yeah, that's what I'm working on. I'm like, well, there you go. Like, so it's really cool to be validated and to know that you're doing a good thing. So.
Yes. And it makes it like, it's so interesting because us as intuitives, and when we really tap in, especially using Reihu Tech, it really solidifies what you're looking at, what you're feeling, what you're doing. And it is, I think it's interesting too, because I feel like even now for me in my intuition and how much, I have my regular clients that I see, 5 to 30 clients a week, depending, and all the other things I do. It's so interesting to see how you still have to take risks with your intuition too, right? You still have to know, like, okay, I'm feeling this for a reason. I know that this person is having this experience, this energy. And, even as intuitives, there's still times where I hold myself back, where I say, oh, let me just come out and say this. And it's like, I don't need to say that. I need to just do it. And then that way the message will come across. And even today, I won't say necessarily the situation, but I did a distance clearing for someone, and I had a really like left field energy come in where I was like, it was the energy of death. And I was like, why is death here? This doesn't make sense for death to be in this place. And then there was another situation where I was like, I feel like there's energy of, someone negative that's tied to your back, like someone's talking negatively. And normally with that person, I would be like, oh, I don't know, this doesn't, but I knew, I was like, no, I need to take this leap again in my intuition and just know that I'm feeling this for a reason. And in doing so, the message back I got was like, oh my gosh, all of this resonates and it makes so much sense. So it's those moments that really help you to, you got to kind of almost jump back into the universe and say, okay, I trust my intuition. I feel this, and this is what's happening with it. So.
This is a question. What do you feel about me even though your partner doesn't know me? Be honest. Well, we're going to get to those. So, Mr. Longoria, I know Mr. Longoria. Don't go away. Don't go away. We'll pull some cards for you in a little bit.
Yes.
But yes, stick around. Don't go away. Keep watching. And we're going to get to that section. For everybody watching, in case you haven't watched our show before, in a minute, Wayne will have his section or his segment on the spiritual messages, followed by me with the alignment. So make sure you have your pen and paper ready for that. And then we'll open up the floor for the readings. All you have to do to get a card reading is put me in the comment section. And we do that so that we know that you give us permission to tap into your energy. And that way we can tap in and give it back to you when we're done with it. But that me is just a more respectful, more professional, and energetic permission to connect with you, and then we can disconnect. But I know Mr. Longoria and how he works his energy. We will make sure you'll be the first one in line. And since I know you, I will let Wayne start with you today. But don't go anywhere. Make sure you stick around for everybody watching. Are you ready?
Yeah, let's do it. So normally I have a little bit more prepared, not that I'm unprepared in this moment, but I feel like I'm drawn to speak a little bit about what I've kind of spoken about before, reconfirming the larger moves of the planets at this time. And then kind of giving you the update for the week and seeing what else comes through. So with that said, we're still in Aquarius season. So this is the season of higher thoughts, ideals, spiritual community, and continuing to ascend both as individuals and as a collective, as a whole. So we're definitely still feeling that energy. And Mercury is also in Aquarius right now until the 14th, so until Valentine's Day. And it's going to enter Pisces. So that's interesting because Mercury moving into Pisces on Valentine's Day, it definitely adds depth to how we communicate, depth of our emotions. And it takes us from this idealized place of love into a more direct place in emotional in ways in that way too. And it's interesting because we have that Pisces energy for Mercury, but then Venus, our planet of love and connection, it is in Aries at this time. So Aries, when Venus is in Aries, it is very much the energy of I want to conquer this. And then once you conquer it, you kind of like, oh, okay, I conquered it. Now move on to the next thing. So with that said, for those of you out there who are single at this time, just be aware that this, if you're finding someone or if you're single, you have plans with someone and you find that it's getting hot and heavy, there is a likelihood that if you see it all the way through, it may be a connection that ends up going away at this time. And that's not that it wouldn't serve you in that, but that's kind of the energy of the moment as well too. And then I've spoken to this in the past couple of weeks, but it still deserves to be focused on is Mars is currently retrograding, and it's retrograding now in the sign of Cancer. So it's going to go direct in about 13 days on February 23rd. And so until it is, Mars is the energy of action, of being able to take action, of reacting to situations as well too. So when it's in Cancer, especially when it's retrograding, it's almost like that's offline. And the ways in which our emotions hold us back from taking action, that is coming up at this time. So any of those emotions that have been coming up basically since December when this is started retrograding, that those are the issues to work on because those are the things that hold you back emotionally. So if you're able to address that during this time when Mars goes direct, those issues will no longer be present for you to move forward as you are wanting to take action, as you're wanting to react as well too. So again, know that if there's those heavy emotions coming up, that is on purpose. The universe is bringing that out so that there can kind of be a clearing, an acknowledgement, and a healing for you so that you can move forward more intentionally without your emotions or those deeper beliefs that are tied to those situations holding you back as well too. The other thing I wanted to speak to is on Wednesday, so in a couple days, we have a full moon, and it'll be the full moon in Leo, since we do have the sun in Aquarius. And so this full moon will kind of bring forward that energy of Leo represents kind of the self, intrapersonal, and Aquarius represents the outer or, community, the outside world. And so this really puts a highlight between these two energies of where am I, where's my community, where am I, how do I feel about my community, who do I feel connected with? And I will say in a lot of my client readings lately too, there's been this energy of evaluating relationships. And it's not just the intimate relationship, but it's about evaluating friendships. And the universe has kind of turned up the energy or the vibe in a certain way where it's like we're either going to really appreciate relationships or we're really going to feel like I need to do something about this. I either need to shift this out, I need to clear this out, I need to clear the air so that there can then be shifted into more of a positive vibe between me and that person, more understanding in that way. So all of that energy is here and present. The other thing I'll say is Leo, that Leo energy likes appreciation. So this is an interesting time as we're coming into Valentine's Day. We still have a couple days, 4 days until that happens, a couple days after the full moon, but you can still feel those effects. And so this can also be kind of that energy of love. Leos need a lot of love. They have a lot of love to give and they need a lot of love. And so it's important to acknowledge that. And I think this is an important time for you to acknowledge yourself in that way. And then also look to how you are balancing yourself with community. Maybe you feel like there's an opportunity for you to create more of a community, a connection in that way. So start taking steps, start coming to Reiki classes, coming to workshops, doing, spiritual workshops, doing community events, things that you feel drawn to so that you can build more of that sense of community. And that's only going to help you appreciate others and then be able to have others love and appreciate you as well in that way. So with that said, that's kind of the energy update, the kind of intuitive messages that are important to be aware of at this time. But I did pull this next week's worth of cards in tarot to kind of feel out the energies of each day. So it's kind of interesting. We'll start with today. Today we have the King of Cups. And I feel like this is a good representation of today, although I feel like this is like the King of Cups, but a little bit wonky, maybe like a Mad Hatter style King of Cups, because there are some kind of interesting energies happening today, but it's somewhat of an emotional day. I would say one where there can be some emotional fulfillment, especially by the end of the day. And then coming into tomorrow, we have the Page of Swords. So maybe some message to be likely delivered tomorrow, one that's important. And with this, sometimes the message that gets delivered by the Page of Swords can be one that is hard to hear. So maybe there is some message coming through tomorrow about kind of, to me, it comes across as like something that is going to validate your experience with someone else or help you to understand the perspective that someone else has been coming from. And then you can decide, how do I want to move forward in this relationship? Wednesday, the day of the full moon, we have the 10 of Wands reverse. So this is really interesting. Typically when this is upright, this represents caring too much, maybe for others as well as ourselves, being very, very kind of buried down in the work that you're doing. And so when it becomes reversed, it's a release of that which isn't serving you. So this full moon, I think, is a really good opportunity to release what's not serving you, again, in the form of relationships. And then it's also in the form of ideals. With Aquarius, we kind of shoot to the ideal of what may be and how this is. So if we've been a little bit too idealized in our life through this Aquarius season, this full moon in Leo is going to kind of balance that out and bring more of ourselves into it. Where do ourselves come and fit into the line of this? And where does our self-love allow us to continue to be who we are while we connect with that outside community? That was cool. That was channeled and beautiful. So Thursday, we have the 7 of Pentacles reversed. So I would say Thursday is probably, I mean, how Thursdays usually feel, especially if it's a normal work week for you, that you're getting the work done. But there may be a sense of like slowness. That full moon may affect you more than you might realize. And what's interesting is even though Friday is Valentine's Day, we have the 5 of Cups, which is a card of mourning. So I think that for those of you who are, you know, if you have someone that you're spending Valentine's Day with, if you know that you're going to have that love and appreciation with them, there might be some emotional release that comes with that, some relief, something along those lines. Or if there's those expectations for Valentine's Day and you don't have someone that you're spending time with, you know, there may be grief that comes up. There may be ways of certain energies that have been holding you back that need to be addressed for you to be able to do that. So just know that Friday is definitely an emotionally intense day, I think, just because of the expectation of Valentine's Day. And then I know there's also factors of astrology that factor into Valentine's Day as well, too, but I haven't had a chance to look into that as much. So next year, we'll talk about it. So with that said, Saturday, interesting, following our emotional release day on Friday, Valentine's Day, we have the 3 of Swords reversed. So I think that this will allow for more of that healing to get to the root of what's happening. So maybe a challenging weekend overall. We are rounding it out with the Emperor reversed. But I think that this is a week of really being honest with ourselves, where we're at emotionally, where we feel like we're at in the world, and just letting ourselves be without expectation. I feel like that is really the key and the goal to think about as you experience this week. And I will leave you all with that.
Awesome. Thank you. You always have such, I go back and listen to what you say on the day so that I'm like, okay, how does that align with what I'm feeling? Kind of like, so.
Totally. I love that.
So I listen to the days again throughout the week. I guess that's the right way to say it. Let me put this in the right place. There we go. For those of you, I was listening and forgot to pull the alignment card. So I am.
I'm glad that I'm that engaging to distract you from what you should be doing.
Yes, I'm deflecting conversation right now because I hadn't pulled my cards. All right, for everybody, we're gonna put Wayne waiting for a little bit. Do you have your pen and paper ready with you? Where is it? Pen and paper ready. There we go. And we're about to do a mini alignment. So pen and paper. Number 1, put today's date. What is today's date? February 10, 2025. It is approximately 5:30 p.m. Pacific, 8:30 Eastern time. Why is this important? I say it every week. Because if you're not a morning person, why are you praying and meditating in the morning? Do it at night when you feel better. And if you are a morning person, morning is the best time to do it. So for those of you doing the alignment today, write down your name, write down the time, and you do this, you write down your name because this is addressing to you. This is like a manifestation. This is like a release. This is something that you want to write to make sure that you let go of that energy. Next, you're going to write down your barrier. What is your barrier? What's that barrier you want to work on this week? And the example I give every week is, for me, it's always imposter syndrome. That is my biggest barrier to get me to where I want to be. Let me put my glasses on so I can look smarter. All right, number one. Here's the word number one. Number one is stability. Where is it? There we go. Stability. Sorry, I'm just like, there we go. Stability. Number one, how is your stability affecting? Let me turn off this light if it's not too dark. Yeah, we go. How is the stability in your life? And remember, the foundation is everything and anything that's ever been said and done to you that sits in your root chakra. How is your stability affecting what your barrier is? Number two, this is in your sacral chakra, your balance. How is, sometimes I get this right. There we go. How is intimacy affecting your barrier? And remember, this could be, first of all, intimacy with yourself. Are you being really honest with yourself at the moment? Are you connecting with yourself physically, mentally, and spiritually? If you can't connect with yourself, you can't connect with others. Word number three, this is your intuition. Are you trusting your intuition? You know, here on the show, we're big about intuitions. Trust your intuition. And that's right here in your belly. That is your power source. So are you trusting your intuition, or are you overanalyzing every decision you make? And that's causing even more barriers. Word number four, anger. Ooh, this is your intake. This is your heart. This is where all the stuff that from people, places, and things in your life, it all comes into your heart. I say it every time. You're taking this to heart. Of course I am, because it's coming right here. So are the things that you are bringing in from people, places, and things, are they causing you anger? And if it's in your heart, does it have anywhere to go? And people are like, oh, I don't get mad. I'm everything. We do. Everybody has feelings and emotions. And we need to learn where to put that anger. Because there's useful anger. And I'll ask Wayne when he comes back. There's useful anger and there's useless anger. And we have to learn to separate them, because that makes a difference. Number five is your throat chakra, your voice. It's the truth. Are you speaking your truth to you? And that is very connected to anger. If I'm not honest in my heart about things that make me angry, upset me, worry me, concern me, then I am not being honest with my throat, with my voice. And if I can't be honest with myself, I can't be honest with other people. Word number six is your dreams. This is your vision. This is your brow. This is the third eye. So where are your dreams? Have you completely let go of all your dreams? Are they holding on there? And how is working your dreams or not affecting your connection to your barrier? I always point up for the barrier, because I feel like the barriers are all up here. And then number seven, are you being wise? Here's wisdom. Where is it? There we go. Wisdom. Are you being wise? You know, wisdom comes from experience, from life. Wisdom comes from what we've learned through the universe, through God. If you pray to a God, are you being wise about the decisions that you're making, and how is that affecting your barrier? So, putting it all together. Are you ready? And remember, you can always come back and rewatch this. This is obviously a quickie alignment, but you can always come back and check it again. And you can come back and check, because there's two phrases that we do now. So number one, in order to find my stability, I need to be intimate with myself, trust my intuition, and manage my anger. By speaking my truth and following my dreams, using the wisdom I've accumulated or I acknowledge. Or the other way is by being wise with my decisions, I can follow my dreams, speak my truth, and manage my anger so I can trust my intuition, have intimate moments with myself, and find the stability I'm looking for. So that is your alignment for the week. I'm going to bring Wayne back on. That is your alignment for the week. Remember, it's all about connecting mind, body, and spirit. The alignment is meant to align all of your seven chakras or your 7 levels. For those of you in my spiritual coaching, in my life coaching, I talk about 7 levels of your personality, and those are it. And then I'll give you information at the end for both Wayne and I if you want to do private sessions. So we'll talk about that at the end of the show.
I will say it's been a while actually since I've done a full alignment with you, but I know I've done at least a couple, and I love these obviously as kind of that mini one, but those full ones that you do full out on are so powerful. So highly recommend if anyone's out there interested in taking the deeper dive with Daniel's alignment. I highly recommend it. Sign up. Do it.
And if you're not following me, if you're not following the alignment on Instagram, I suggest you do, because I will start posting these words. You will see a picture every Monday of the 7 words so that you can work on those. And that's a good way to connect with me for private sessions. So make sure you do those. I think between that and Wayne's readings and the alignment, how you people are not going to turn out perfect. I don't know how.
I know the growth. I'm sure you guys are just like blowing it out of the water, honestly. Well, and it does help. So I know we talked last show. I know we weren't here last week, but last show about like I had seen that progression where there was something that I was dealing with week after week with the alignment, and I feel like this is similar. I don't necessarily have my paper here from last week, but my barrier this week was just taking action, just do it. And this is something I talked to you, Daniel, about. And I know I come across in a certain way, but there are times that I still struggle with the way that I'm perceived because of my own, upbringing, childhood trauma, all of those things. And so at times I do struggle, and I have to just say, okay, just do it, just do it, just do it. And so with that, one of the things that I am challenging myself to do in growing is allowing myself to be seen more. A lot of the stuff we do with Ascension Tech and a lot of the stuff you see on my Instagram or my YouTube is a lot of videos that show the content without necessarily having to show me. This show is one of those things that's kind of different than that, but it has given me more of that want to know that I have to be present and show up no matter how I'm feeling about myself, no matter how I'm feeling about my body. And so like today was a little bit of a win for me, even though this has kind of been my barrier actually, is I pre-recorded a video just talking about reminding people to come see the show today, which may seem like a small marketing thing or, a small thing, but it took me a few takes to really feel like I got the flow down well, and I probably could have done it better. My Virgo ascendant said, keep going, but I only had so much time. So I love this because this really resonates with me about like taking action and just do it. And so this is one of those things of like wanting to make sure that I know I'm going to show up well. I always set intentions for the highest good of whatever situation that I'm going through. So this really like leads me through of like, I'm looking for that stability. I'm looking to be able to be more intimate, not just with myself, but showing what it is that I'm here to do. And I'm of course using my intuition in a lot of what I'm doing. And the anger part was interesting because I feel like there are times where my anger comes up and I'm just frustrated. Like, why am I this way? Why can't I know I'm talented. I know I communicate. I know I have something to say. I want to make an impact. And yet I still feel that anger and frustration that comes up. And a lot of it is, like I said, past upbringing and feeling like I was being held back. So all of it from that to the next, to the dreams, to the wisdom, bringing that all in. So this totally like is vibing with me and making me feel good about what I did. Obviously earlier, it's just a video that I posted, but it's the first step of many of me feeling more comfortable to know that I'm showing up well. So I love it. Beautiful.
And before we move into the readings are next for all of you watching us on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Instagram. Please start putting me in the comment sections for your chance. We will have a couple people lined up, but I don't want to just walk away from the anger and the balance of those energies. I mentioned that there's good anger and there's bad anger. There's good anger that makes you move forward. There's things that make you upset. When you protest, when you go to a rally, when you stand up for something, when you're an advocate, an activist, an instigator, whatever the level is, when you take that anger and you do something positive with it, and you say, instead of being a victim, I'm going to be a victor, and you do something that is positive anger, and you're like, you come home at night and you're exhausted and your energy is like, you feel like I just feel it right now. You feel like your wings popped out and you flew, and that's awesome. And then, yes, the balance. And remember, everything in life is balance. For every good, there's a bad. For every dark, there's a light. For every sun, there's a moon. And there is the negative anger, and there is the anger that makes you hurt yourself and hurt others physically, mentally, or spiritually. And it's just the balance of that energy. Just like when I talk to my clients and we talk about balance, I'm like, there is such a thing as hate, and it's a very valid feeling. And then on the other side of love, there's obsession, which is the other side of love. It's kind of like, what is it, ultraviolet and ultra reds? Like there is those energies. And unless we are able to acknowledge that even I, as somebody who believes, I've been practicing for 14 years, there are certain things in life that I look at them, I'm like, I really, really hate that. And and this is my barrier is there. That is my line. I will not cross it for you, for anybody, because I don't want to walk into that space, but it exists. Right? Does that make sense? And unless we acknowledge it, I'm going to say this now. I don't always trust somebody that is always happy. If somebody is always in that Stepford Wives mode, yes, I'm like, why are you a robot?
Meet me behind the building.
Yes, because we are beings. We're human, and yes, we're spiritual beings. And Wayne and I practice, but we're still human, and we have to acknowledge those feelings. Otherwise, they will take control. Okay. With that said,
I want to say one more thing. I got to hop in for just a second. That anger part too, and this is something I think newer that has come across my awareness too, is, and you spoke to it a little bit, but it's that like anger has a purpose, but it only has a purpose as long as you feel it, it moves you to action, and then you let it go. If you hold on for it for too long, if you hold on to that anger and you don't let it actually let you take action, then that's, I think, where it creates more of that negative anger, right? Where it's just angry for no reason, angry for whatever reason. But anger, I feel like, is an important emotion for us to feel. It helps us to your point, I'm putting this barrier here. And when someone crosses over that barrier, what's it going to do? It's going to make you angry because you're saying, I know this is not okay. I'm not okay with this. And that anger spurs you into action. And then it's to me, the important part is once you're spurred into action, what are you doing? Are you just flying off the handles and going crazy? Or are you letting that anger drive you more towards protecting that barrier or protecting whatever that may be? So I just wanted to kind of tack on with that.
And it's interesting that we're talking about this today because I have therapy every Monday, and today's topic in my therapy was about some inner angers that I'm carrying around. So, see, folks, the alignment's not just for you; it works for me too. Right.
No one can escape the universe.
You cannot escape the alignment. That was a little too Thundercats there. I don't see Mr. LaGuardia if he's still here or not, but I don't want to skip him. But do we want to go to the people and we'll leave him?
So I went ahead and pulled for him already. So okay. I would say worst case, we tell him log back in and watch the show once it replays in case he didn't get a chance to see it.
I will.
All right. So very interesting energies that are surrounding right now. Some intense ones, I would say. So at the heart of your spread, at the heart of your situation, you have the 10 of Wands, which we had as our Wednesday card reverse for this upcoming Wednesday. So again, this meaning applies to you as well too. You're likely handling more than you need to. You're carrying things for others. You are burdened and not able to do all the things that you're wanting to do at this time. So it's important for you to recognize, in what ways do I need to let go of certain things? What ways do I need to give some of these things back for others? Because it's likely that I am taking these things on for them and I am not allowing myself to move forward with what I need to move forward. And I'm also enabling them to not do their work, so to speak. So it's also interesting with this, the card that's crossing you, you have the 9 of Wands. So 9 of Wands, 10 of Wands. With the 9 of Wands, this card I call Don't Lick Your Wounds. So your challenge right now is to not do the same thing that you've always done to solve the problem because it hasn't solved the problem. So at this time, I would say if you have already tried at certain times to give these things back, to give this responsibility back, to give whatever this may be that's not yours back, and they haven't taken it, don't do it this time the way that you did it before. Do it in a completely new way. Do something that is going to shift because this person or these people are likely going to know, oh, he's trying to hand that back, or maybe they won't know, but they'll feel that resistance to it. So it's important that you act differently in how you want to move forward. Your theme card right now is the 9 of Pentacles reversed. So there's hard work that you've put in. And actually you have the 10 of Pentacles in the recent past influences as well too. So there is abundance that is flowing through you, around you. But with both these reversed, I feel like, again, there's this energy of, and again, I want to speak respectfully about this, but it's almost like a leeching energy. People are leeching energy from you, and that can be literal energy, that can be emotional energy, and in certain cases right now I feel like it's almost monetary, that there is money that is being lost by you continuing to engage in the way that you have engaged. So at present, it's interesting, you have the Emperor. This card has been showing up all day today. Even in my readings at the shop earlier, this card I feel like made an appearance every day or every reading throughout the day today. So with that at present influences, the Emperor represents kind of that energy of like, you have to have the masculine, you have to know what you want your kingdom to be, you have to rule over your kingdom, so to speak. And I feel like you've done that in certain ways and given free passes in others. But so let yourself know that you can act differently. You can change how you want things to be. And then moving forward into the future, you have the 4 of Swords. So there's time for you to take a break, rest, relax. The person in this card, they've been out to war, they've been battling, and now they're taking some time to rest, recuperate, and think about, what am I going to do when I get back out there on the battlefield? How am I going to win this war? So I would say this is a great time for you to go into seclusion almost. Let yourself be withdrawn and let yourself contemplate how you want to move forward. And that's going to be a great way for you to understand your value more and really the value that you're kind of giving away to these other circumstances, because the universe is really, has been encouraging you to assist others, but you got to make sure that you're doing it with that scale of justice, that you're doing it in a balanced way, because if it's not balanced, you're enabling bad behavior, and that can be very challenging. We also have the Page of Swords as your what the tarot would guide you to do, but it is reversed. So with that being said, I think it's important that you are delivering messages in a way that is not necessarily non-emotional, but just really stating how they are impacting you and how they're taking away from you being able to have what you want to have and what you have to need. And then your outcome card is the Hierophant. So this is spiritual awakening to a degree. I would say this is you understanding yourself a little bit more, understanding your value a little bit more, but there's definitely a reaching towards more spiritual thought. And I think a more spiritual approach to what is happening around you, especially in regards to those people that are benefiting from you kind of doing the work for them. So I will leave you with that.
Awesome. Thank you. I'm glad you came back. I don't know if you left or not, but I'm glad you answered so we could do the reading for you. Thank you so much for watching. I'm glad that you're here. All right. So coming up next, Diana, you are next on our list, and then followed by Jocelyn. So Wayne will take Jocelyn after.
Awesome.
This. All right. Hi, Diana. How you doing? Welcome to the show. Happy Monday. So for you, starting off, number 1 is upside down, but it's the just sing card. Let me turn this light off because it reflects on the cards. There we go. It's just sing. So 2 versions of the card. Number 1 is if you're a singer, if you use your voice a lot, if your voice is important to you, this is a good time to just reconnect to that. That's your yesterday card. It's upside down, where you're not speaking your truth, where you're not using your voice, where you're blocking yourself from speaking what you really felt, your mind, body, and spirit. Because in your today, there is the decorate card, and it's also coming to me upside down. So it tells me that the idea, the intention, the wanting to reinvent yourself, I get my Donna in my head, this wanting to be a new version of self. For everybody out there, when we reinvent ourselves, it's really about the exterior, and it's about how people view us. It's about the way that people see us. But I feel like the not doing it is wanting to stay in that space that you were, but that space is kind of kicking you out. It's time to grow into something new. because your outcome here, I mean, your tomorrow is to have fun. So I also look at the carousel going around and around. So what is it that you are doing in that infinity that is keeping you from the fun? What is it? And I usually believe, talking about barriers, I usually believe that mental barriers block us from speaking our truth. Wayne was talking earlier about breaking those barriers and doing something out of the box and out of the comfort zone. So what is it? What is it in your comfort zone that's keeping you there? Now, for everybody out there, we stay in comfort zones because, hello, it's a comfort zone. But when the comfort zone, when we're comfortable in the uncomfortableness, then it becomes an issue. In your spirit is turned on the light. So your light is on. Where's the doubt? Where is the wondering where your spirit is it connected or not? It's been connecting. I feel like the only issue is you. It's stop being entertaining, using your voice and helping rearrange things and helping decorate the world. Stop being fun for a little bit. So now you're kind of wanting to I guess it happens here on the show a lot. It's like Mr. Longoria. It's like hibernation, hiding. I'd rather hide than believe that things are going to work out. But you won't know if they're going to work out unless you give it a shot. And yes, some things may not work out, but that's okay. That's part of it. In your heart is your family. And this is your blood family and your but I feel like it's more about your family of choice, your soul family, the family that you created. They're in your heart. They're the part of the light. They're part of your source. So whomever's been there on the sideline, feeding you energy to get through this until you find your light again, it's time to thank them. We really need to be grateful for the energy that they're giving you because they're really lifting you to where you are right now. But now training wheels need to come off. I feel like we went back to the training wheels on the bike. Like, la, 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 la. Time to take them off. I don't know why the la, 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 but maybe that means something. What needs to happen is accepting love. But accepting love is upside down. Why? And that comes with the decorating. That comes with the using your voice. Why are you blocking love from coming into your life? What is love? Baby. Okay, no, I'm not going to sing. But why? Where did this new version of you, why did this new version of you decide to stop love from coming in? You give a lot of love and you give a lot of energy, but you stop it from coming into you. And that's part of the light. Folks, if we don't know how to accept love, our lights will start to diminish, and we don't want that. And then, see, whatever it is you're doing right now, Missy, stop it. It's time to change the direction a little bit. And usually there's another deck of cards where the penguins means take it one step at a time. So I'm going to throw that in there. The other deck on the penguin card talks about small steps. So where you want to go next is not going to be fast. And if not getting there quickly is what's stopping you from even starting, then we're never going to get there. So what it tells me overall is that it's time to sing, time to raise your voice so that the people that you need in your life come to you and give you the love that you need. It's going to turn your light back on and give you space to have fun. In there, you will find the new version of you that you want, but you got to stop what you're doing now because it's not going to get you anywhere. I'm going to bring Wayne back on. I hope that made sense. From Mr. LaGuardia, I've got hit the nail on the head hard. Love you guys. Thank you. We love you too. Thank you for joining us. I hope that made sense to you. All right. Jocelyn is next, followed by...
I want to say too, before we hop to Jocelyn, you got this validation, but I always love, of course, we don't do this for the validation, but we enjoy the validation when we get to know, that we're making a difference, that we're making an impact. And I won't share too much about the personal situation, but Diana had shared from last week, or not last week's show, but 2 weeks ago when we did a show, Daniel had, delivered the message to Diana. She was the one who got it. And the message that came across was confusing at first. But it turns out like the next day, the event happened and it totally validated the whole reading of what Daniel was speaking to. So it was, Diana reached out to me. She was like, you guys are so, she's like, I know you're psychic, but you guys are so psychic. So I love when we get those ones, especially like, I feel like it's hard for us as intuitives when the message doesn't resonate right away, right? And at least on this show, we don't know, like, unless they're saying it in the comments or they don't comment. But you know, when you have a client in front of you and you're like, well, this is what I feel, and it doesn't, you know, it's not resonating, then it's knowing that the universe is going to deliver that message at the right time for them too. So I just wanted to add that in, and I know Daniel already got kind of that praise for it, but you know, for any of you guys who get readings from us in this form or any other form, sometimes things don't make sense until they make sense. So it's not always in the reading that you're going to have that huge growth. If anything, it's that reading that spurs maybe that thought process and that energy flowing to allow for that deeper message to eventually come in. So I just wanted to speak to that and praise Daniel a little bit for, you know, his intuitive ability.
Well, you know, I'm not going back to the beginning of the show. It has been being a first level Recutech that it took me to that next level of just, I don't even have to trust what I'm saying. I just have to say it. Mm-hmm. And that was for those of you out there who are also intuitive and if you do readings and you're like, I don't know. And by the way, Jocelyn's next, followed by Bobby, followed by Claudia. So just stick around, folks. When I first started, it was about, am I right? Am I right? Does it make sense to me? Am I right? And if it didn't make sense, I would change it. And then the person would be like, no, that doesn't make sense. And I'm like, why do you mean it doesn't make sense? Like, that's what and then it evolved into, it doesn't completely have to make sense as long as it makes sense to you. But still in my head, I had to trust the way that I was saying things. Like, why am I saying pumpernickel? That doesn't even make sense. Like, why am I talking about Christmas in the middle of July? Like, I don't know. And then now it's, look, I'm going to say what comes to my mind. Like, I'm just going to say what I'm feeling, and you sort it out. Like, that's sorting it out is not my job. So for those of you out there who do readings, sorting out the message is not your job. Your job is just to deliver it the way it comes. If you see porcupines, just say it, and the person will get. And just like this case, you might say, and and do not let it discourage you when people across the table say, that doesn't make any sense to me. You're like, look, that's what I got. Call me in 6 months if it doesn't work out. I'll give you a reading. Because usually that's been my thing always. Call me in 6 months. If it doesn't work out, I'll give you a free reading or I'll pay you back for whatever you paid. And surely enough, 6 months later, they're like, oh my God. And you're like, okay, good. I don't owe you any money because I've already spent it. But
so you should make the bet, but then you should say if it's right, then you got to pay me again.
You got to pay me twice. Yeah. All right.
So I'm sign up for the next reading. Awesome. All right, Jocelyn. So you've been on the show before. We've read for you before. We have a history, and I know kind of about recent life shifts, developments, what you've been going to, even with Jocelyn is a level 2 Recutech practitioner. So we had a great time doing our level 2 workshop and all of those practices. So with that said, I am so excited to deliver this message to you, Jocelyn. Let me tell you. So heart of your spread, you have the 6 of Wands. This is about coming home proud, coming home successful, coming home having won the war. So there's this feeling of like, and when I first pulled this card and it sat it down, I have chills right now. It's like your entire spiritual team was like, she deserves to be celebrated. She is so connected. She is so embracing her power like never before. And they are so freaking excited for, you know, all of the work and all of the things that you have been through that have gotten you to this point and what continue to drive you moving forward. So with that said, your crossing card, your current challenge is the Knight of Pentacles. And as we know, Pentacles represents career, finances, material needs being met, and our value. So your challenge at this time is knowing that and this card represents new mastery. So it's not that you're a new master in this, but it's new mastery to a degree for you in stepping into the healing arts further, stepping into this and being more active in what you're doing as well too. So your challenge right now is to know that you do have value, that you do have worth. You know this, but you will continue to grow and know that that's part of this process. So with that being said, the theme of your past, present, and future, you have the 3 of Wands reversed. So with this, This is a card that represents upright. You have this person who has done all the planning. They know what they want to do. They have their caravan. They have all the supplies. They have their map. They're doing everything that they need to, and they're on the path. They're walking it. They're living the journey. So with this being reversed, I would say this feels like maybe you feel like you don't have everything that you need, but you have everything you need to move forward at this time. You can take every single step. You are tuned in the right ways. You have the King of Cups in your past influences. It is reversed, but this tells me that you have learned to balance out more of your masculine emotional energy with the feminine energy. And Jocelyn is a Pisces, so she's definitely got those Pisces feels, which I'm, again, another reason that I love her, me being the Cancer that I am. But this shows that there has been emotional growth and balancing of taking action with the emotions, as well as balancing of just being with your emotions from that feminine perspective. Right now, you are kind of still going through this confusing period. I think it's part of your furthering and deepening of your intuitive abilities, your connection to spirit, other modalities that you're continuing to bring in. So with this energy of the moon, there is, I feel like it's like confusion, but it's confusion that's being cleared, and you're actively working towards being able to more easily tap into your intuitive abilities, healing abilities, without doubting and without that questioning of what's happening, and without needing to really know. I know Daniel and I kind of just talked about that for a moment as well too. And the other reason that I know this is all about your spiritual journey and growth is you have the Hierophant in the future influences. You are becoming part of the Hierophant calling and being able to bring higher levels of understanding, higher levels of spirituality out of yourself, and bringing that to other people so that that can be awakened within them as well too. So I love all of this. You're right where you're meant to be, and you have everything that you need to move forward, even if at times you feel like you don't have it all. The reason that I say that, your internal influences card is the 5 of Swords. So I call this the card of collateral damage. So there's still, I feel like, ways that you feel like my trauma maybe gets in the way of my healing. I think it's also kind of the spark that ignites the healing for you too. And we're all continuing to go through our healing journey. And I know by no means have you had an easy life situation with everything that you've gone through. And so this is part of your power. Your power comes from that, even though those were challenging, crazy situations. So there is so much value here for you. You have the King of Pentacles with what the universe is giving you. And it is the kind that you can realize fully out in the world as well too. So again, career, finances, material needs being met, having that value. So know that you are worthy of that value. You are worthy of the abundance that you are creating in people now in the work that you're doing, and the abundance of what you're creating in people moving forward. And what the tarot would guide you to do is to step further into this, to love what you're doing. I know you do, but know that you are worthy of it. And as you continue, your outcome card, you have the 8 of Pentacles. Now this is reversed. I would say it's only reversed because it's hard to see eventually where you're going to all the way when you're still here and you still haven't gone through all of those steps and you haven't had all of the experiences that take you to that next level and that next level. But you are right where you need to be, and you have been putting in the right effort and intentions for what you are looking to do. So I feel like even if you feel that you've been struggling, and I know the astrology of the moment lately has been very challenging, I feel so good about the path that you're on, the path that you're heading down, and your intentions moving forward. So I love you so much. It's such an honor to get to read for you, and I'll leave you with that.
Nice. All right. Thank you, Jocelyn, for watching the show. For everybody watching, please refer us to your friends. Let other people know that we're on. That's it. I thought it was going to. All right. Coming up next, Bobby, and then we got Claudia, and then we got Jody coming up after that. So, where are you, Bobby? Bobby! I always think of Whitney Houston when I say that name. All right, Bobby. Welcome to the show. I don't know if we've read for you before, but we're glad that you're here. There we go. All right, Bobby. Number one, in your past is all about the rebel that you are. There is the rebel card. This is about the rebelness that you're leaving behind. All those people, places, and things that you were hanging around with, doing things with, or going to, that will kind of leave it in the past to make sure that we open that path for the present. Because in you today, this is about your creativity. Did we start forget about the creativity in you? Did you forget that you're creative and that you have a beautiful eye for things? Did the world, did life, did the universe just kind of like start piling on too much responsibility on you that you forgot that there is this creative being inside of you. And that I feel like that creativity was part of your rebelness, whether you paint, you write music, you're a performer, whatever it is, your rebelness was part of you. And it's important to keep that going, because in your today, whether you're religious or you is the universe, but this is about, hey, I'm here. So I feel like the thank God part is connected to the rebelness of your past and kind of the appreciation of where you are now, and having made those amends and having taken the steps necessary to get to where you are. And that's what got you where you are today. Let's not forget that. And this goes for everybody watching. No matter how better you feel, let's not forget about the moments that God is there. That's part of being grateful. It's not necessarily being grateful for all the beautiful things that I have now. It's being grateful also for the things that I went through to get to where I am now. So pay attention to that. And I say music, and I say because listen to the music is here, which has the two parts, both the music, if you're a musician, if you're an artist, that's in your spirit, but it's also about the rhythm and flow of things. For everybody who listens to music, there's a beat, there's a rhythm, there's a sense to it. So Bobby, your spirit wants to get back into that rhythm, and it wants to play that music again. I don't know why it just popped into my head. Play that funky music, white boy. So I'm just going to put it out. I guess today is the night of songs and music. Your heart has the take a breath card, which tells me that we're still holding our breaths, Bobby. I feel your heart is still waiting for some things from the past, from the rebel side to come back. And we never go back to normal. We don't go back to where we were. We come to a new regular. We can bring things from our past and use them in our now, but we never go. And besides, who wants to go to their past life? You want to move forward. So exhale, Bobby. Let it go. Let it go. And with that, you're going to let go some of that stress and anxiety and worry that you've been carrying around. Plus, in what we need to work on, and here is the black sheep, like, what is it? Step away from the clones, from the crowd. This is you. This is you, the rebel. It's going back to the rebellious side of you without getting in trouble for it. I hope that makes sense. It's like, yes, I'll say this for me, like having, now that I live my better life 18 years later, I can still have fun the way I used to. I just don't do the things that I used to. I hope that makes sense to you. And then your overall energy is sharing your gifts. And this is part of your creativity. I'm going to connect this with your creativity. Whatever you do creatively, is that a word? To share with the world. I'm just eating up letters tonight. To share with the world, it's important to continue in that space. So be the rebel that you always were, but take a breath, relax, have fun, because you're always going to be different. And let's embrace that. You're going to be different, and that's a good thing. So listen to the music, and let's thank God, the universe, life, for everything that's happened, so you can create and share those gifts with the rest of the world, because they deserve to see everything that you're doing. I don't know what you do for work. I don't know what you accomplish in your life, but this is your moment. This is your moment. I am all into music today.
Let it go. I was like in the background when you were saying it, just wanting to shout it out.
But what is it? This is the moment. This is
the day.
Don Quixote. This is from Don Quixote. Yes. Look at me knowing music and stuff. Okay. We have two more people. So we have Claudia is next, and then Jody will be with me.
Beautiful. We have Thackeray here in the background. He's decided to jump up and hopefully to back down because he'll totally distract me. Can't help but love up on my kitty. Okay, so Claudia, interesting spread we have here. It seems like there's a little bit of emotions and maybe some hurt that has come up. So I'll just jump right into it. Heart of the spread, you have the Four of Cups reversed. So I call this the card of meh. It feels like it's the card of indifference. So this would tell me that you're kind of feeling indifferent about your situation right now, feeling indifferent about life, even though there's other factors around that reflect more of like an emotional journey that you're on right now with, which I'll kind of speak to in a moment. But your challenge at this time is the Nine of Cups. It's the wish card. It's the genie. So what this may come across and feel like is it's like what you've been asking the universe for, what you've been wanting. The universe hasn't been giving it to you. And you're like, come on, universe, give it to me. I want it. I need it. It's going to be what I need. I need it. Give it to me. And it feels like it's something around your emotions. It's around this past issue, past trauma, and wanting to be able to like move forward and like it's almost like you want to forget it entirely. And then it's like, if I forget it, then I'm going to be able to move forward. But that's not going to serve you in the long run. So this is a challenge to you in recognizing that this isn't something that's going to serve you. So it's probably time to start allowing the situation to unfold more instead of asking for an entirely different situation to show up, if that makes sense. With your theme card, you have the Ace of Cups. So this is kind of one of those factors of emotions that I know is playing into you at this time. And this is affecting your past, present, and future. So you're wanting this new emotional start. You're wanting this new emotional growth. You're wanting to bring in this new way of feeling, this new way of connecting, this new way of being. But there is likely some challenges that you've been facing with that. One of those big challenges is likely it's your past card. It is the Emperor is back. The Emperor is making a ton of appearances today. With this recent past, there's likely ways that you have been, and this is feeling an intimate relationship wise, or this could be with a parent figure. It feels like it has similar ties. So maybe it's trauma from father as well. But there is a force in your past that was very controlling and very much saying, this is the way that it is. This is the only way that you can operate, and being very restrictive with you. And you've come into the present, into this King of Cups energy, which is about being able to express yourself freely emotionally without damaging others, without being damaged yourself. And so there is this like way that you're wanting to express more, where I feel like there's kind of this repression that you were being forced to by someone else. And you're like, no, I'm speaking up now. This is how I feel. This is how it's going to be. This is what I want it to be. And so moving forward into the future, it's interesting. You have the Two of Cups as your future influences card, which this card typically represents kind of shutting yourself off from your emotions, shutting yourself off from your heart, blinding yourself to the truth of the situation. So know that there's a validation for the way that you're feeling about this energy that's been in your life. Again, likely a romantic partner or a parental figure of sorts that has been negatively influencing you. Don't allow yourself to shut down out of your emotions. It's so important. It's time for you to really assess the situation and see if it's serving you going forward, because you have the support around you to be able to shift the situation, to change it, to move towards where you want to go. But you have to decide and know that that's the best route for you, that there isn't any type of growth possible for you moving forward. And I don't feel like there is with this energy here. This gives me that vibe of like, you're going to do what I tell you to do. And if you don't do what I'm going to tell you to do, then you're going to do what I tell you to do. So it's really important for you to say, no, like I want to move forward in my own way. I want to act in my own way. I want to be able to, be free of this energy that has been holding me back for so long. So it's interesting. Your card that represents what the universe is guiding you to is the Three of Swords reversed. It's acknowledging the trauma that's happened to you in the past. And maybe this is more likely that parental energy that I was feeling coming through. But allowing yourself to acknowledge that and start knowing that it's possible to work through that energy and those beliefs that are no longer serving you. And something I would say is, if you're interested in getting a reading from me offline, there's some NLP that we could do to assist you with shifting out these beliefs in a much faster way. So if that's something you're interested in, definitely check that out, because I think that could be very helpful in moving that process along with you. And then lastly, your outcome card, you have the King of Pentacles reversed. So recognizing where is there value for you and where is there not, and where do you want to be? How do you want to feel? And that feeling is so important of how you're going to bring in abundance for yourself moving forward. So making sure that you're not in a space that someone expects you to feel differently than you are feeling at any given time. So with that said, I know this was a very intense reading. A lot of the energy that came up with this is somewhat intense as well too. And I don't take it lightly. It is definitely an intense situation that you're dealing with. So hopefully that helps give you, shed some light on your circumstances.
Cool. Let me bring up some comments that we made. Jocelyn said, she said that, yes, the record took her gifts to another level. Highly recommended, folks. Highly recommended. If you are an intuitive, if you're working on your craft, it's definitely an investment to make. Jocelyn said, beautiful. Thank you. As always, so on point. Love you. And speaking of, I talked about Iris earlier. Just got off work and jumping on to see you guys. Well, we're glad you came off work, and we hope you relax and kick back for a little bit. Bobby says, spot on. You guys are the station of validation. thank you for watching us, Bobby. Remember, tell your friends, tell your family every Monday, 5 o'clock, an hour and a half. You don't just get a reading, you get an alignment, and you get energy reading. You get channeling messages for the week. So it's a whole
Humor.
And you get our comedy and our good looks. Just there is worth the price of admittance.
That's right.
All right, and we had Jody next. I think. Hi, this is my comadre. This is my godson's mom. Hi, thank you for being on the show. I think Jody so far is the last one on the list, but we'll see. All right, so I was about to remove myself from the page. So.
This is you.
My turn. All right, Jody. So starting off with you in your yesterday. Your yesterday is about all the things that we dropped, but the things that we're still holding on to. So what is it that you're still holding on to? This can be mentally, physically, or spiritually. Something we're still holding on to that we're not completely ready to let go. And for everybody, we hold on to stuff for a time. We've been talking about this in the alignment. There's all these barriers that we hold on to. But whatever you were holding on to is keep dancing, the keep dancing card. It's the keep moving forward. And like the other cards, it's like keep dancing. So if you're taking a dancing class, if you're deciding to take some Zumba classes, it's all about the movement of your body, but it's also about the moving forward. And also about when it comes to dancing, there is a logic to it. There's steps to it. There's your dog who, okay, I saw that your dog who passed. But this is about you moving forward. In your tomorrow, it's all about accepting love. And for those of you that have watched all of our shows before, you probably know that between everybody, there's a connection between everybody that gets a reading. So here's the love card for you, Jody. And it's about accepting love. So the love that is coming to you from people, places, and things, most of the time, it's always people. So there's probably some new people, some new energies in your life that are offering you that love. It's time to accept it. It's okay to accept it, especially as you are dropping all the extra energy you were holding on to and you're learning to move again. It's okay to accept that love. In your spirit, it's all about the having fun. Your spirit is ready to have fun. You have held on to enough energy in your spirit that now that you're going to drop it, your spirit is like, I can relax and do things for me. So make sure you do these things for you, because your heart, and I'm so happy to see this because that's what it says, dare to be happy. Your heart and your spirit are like, let's do this. We talked about decorating earlier with Diana. This might be your redecorating moment. This might be your transformation moment, and have fun for you and do something for you. I don't know, change your hair, buy clothes you wouldn't wear before, go somewhere you've never been. But this is your time to reinvent who you want to be in this stage of your life, in this next chapter. The overall energy, what we need to work on is saying no. It's upside down. Say no a little more. For those of you out there, we don't say, I feel like sometimes we don't say no enough. I know that I get caught up in doing things for people, and sometimes I don't want to do it, but I say yes because I feel obligated. And sometimes they throw me back that, I thought you were so spiritual. Yeah, but spiritual doesn't mean I have to do everything. So Jody, you don't have to say yes to everything. So let's learn to say no. But in the same overall energy, remember, for everybody out there, our actions have a reaction. So just make sure that you're aware how your actions are going to, the butterfly effect, the ripple effect. How is your decision going to affect other people? I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just saying, just be aware how that can reflect. So overall there are things you need to drop to make sure that you find your happiness. Learn to say no so you can have fun in accepting the love that you want, so you can keep dancing, moving forward, but also be available for other people. I think, I'm going to throw this out there. I think, she says, I love this. Move to California. I'm not saying no. I'm not going to say no. Let me bring Wayne back up. But and your dog passed. My condolences on your puppy passing. And for Elisa Peña, who just signed on, if you can do a me in the comment section, we don't need your birthday. All we need is me, and that gives us permission to do reading. But I'm just for Jody. I'm just saying, is there somebody coming in to the live? Like, is there somebody saying, "Hey, Jody, how you doing?" I would say yes to that. Just saying. I'm not instigating anything. Just put it out there. Where are we going next? You want to do Elisa?
Yes, I will do it. And I want to say too, because you're talking about no, and I know we've said this many other times, but it's so poignant when you think about no standing for next opportunity, NO, and really being able to say no, like, no, I'm not interested in this. I want the next opportunity, and allowing that to come in. It's such a great way to frame, and I think empower the being able to say no, or to to deny something, but do it in a way that serves you, and without being negative about it.
Let me just answer some of these comments. Mr. Longoria, we already did your reading. You don't have to do anything else. We got you. So if you missed some of it, just go back and watch the recording, and you'll get your reading. But we got you. You don't have to do anything else. We got you. And then Elisa, don't worry about saying me either. We're going to take this as your me. So you're next, and I will excuse myself.
Beautiful. All right, Elisa, I know you. Okay, so not only do I know you, but this is a little bit of an intense reading. So we're going to just jump right into it. The heart of your spread, you have the Tower. So the Tower is one of the most catalytic of the tarot. It is the card that we tend to represent the Tower. It's the way we've built ourselves to be. It's our ego to a degree as well too. So when the Tower comes in, there's this outside force, God, the universe, that comes in and is breaking down this structure. So this would tell me that you are likely going to be going through, if not already, a big change, a big challenge. The universe is going to break down who you thought you've been up to this point, and where you're going and how you're moving forward. And so with that, your crossing card, as if that wasn't enough, your crossing card, your challenge card, is the Four of Swords. So with the Four of Swords, it's this energy of feeling like complacent. I know I've spoken to it in other ways, but the intuition is guiding differently with this time. There's kind of this feeling of not wanting to have to slow down, not wanting to have to take stock and figure out, where have I been, where am I going? There's been kind of that energy of letting yourself move forward and flow forward. And with that being said, your theme card affecting your past, present, and future is the Empress reversed. So this would tell me that there's abundance that's flowing into your life. You're creating abundance in your life. I know that you are. But with this being reversed, I feel like there is more of an opportunity for you to recognize your value and your worth that will bring in more abundance, and not just in monetary form, but in mental form, in emotional form, in your physical health, in the space that surrounds you. So there is abundance that continues to flow in, but I feel like there's an opportunity for you to shift how you're thinking about it and how you want to bring that in. Again, it's important that you're looking at, where have I been, where am I going, and let yourself take some time and stock to figure out what that looks like. Recent past affecting your present, you have the Two of Pentacles reversed. So there is career focus here. There's some career growth, but maybe not necessarily knowing that this is where you want to go or what you want to do. And so from that, even though that part was kind of career focused, this feels like this is more relationship focused, and intimate relationship is really highlighted here. With that said, the Eight of Swords reversed. So the Eight of Swords, we've talked about this before, is a card of self-restriction, that these swords tend to represent beliefs or ideas that are holding you back. And you're the one that's put yourself in this situation, but you're also looking to remove yourself from it as well too. So it's no longer allowing yourself to be stuck in the same situation that you know doesn't serve you. So that is huge growth that comes from it. And that's likely because of this catalytic understanding or event that's happened with the Tower. So moving forward into the future, Hierophant has also been making a lot of showing up a lot today. Hierophant represents that higher level of spiritual thinking, higher level of spiritual study, spirituality coming in. So there is kind of that sense of more of your spirituality being awakened, especially tied to, again, your value, what you feel that you're worthy of and what you want to manifest. So with that, internal influences, what you have control over, you're questioning the motives of yourself, and I would say those around you as well too. So it is a card of really being able to recognize people may be saying they're doing one thing, but they're acting in a very different way. And this can be, I feel like this is both applicable to you and situations that are happening in your life. So it's really important that you're asking yourself, like, what are my motives? What am I doing right now? Why am I doing this? What For what purpose? To what end? And then asking that same question about those around you who are, key factors in your life that are important to you. What the universe is giving you in the situation, you have the sun reversed. So this is furthering an understanding that there can be happiness, there can be growth, and there can be more excitement in the things that you do, because it feels like there's been kind of a repetition, and that you haven't really been able to sit and enjoy things like you have in the past. So the universe wants you to recognize that and to spend a little bit more time doing the things that you love and care about. Guidance from the tarot, Queen of Pentacles reversed. So I think this is also you contemplating, where do you want to head in the future? What do you want to be doing? What impact do you want to make? And that doesn't mean that that's actually what you're going to be doing, but start taking steps towards figuring that out and what that looks like for you. And then your outcome card, you have the Lover's card. So this is interesting because I feel like this is a uniting of your masculine and feminine energies. This can represent love in your life as well too. To me, this feels like a further understanding of how love plays into life and relationships. And it's not just necessarily about the intimate relationships, but it's how the connections that you have and the time that you spend with people are a reflection of where you're at and what you're doing and what you want and what you're capable of being able to do as well too. So with that said, there is definitely a sense of change, and I think you would benefit from kind of some life visioning and really figuring out, okay, here's where I'm at. Where do I want to go from here? And I will leave you with that.
Cool. And we got, we'll take one more. We have Amber. Amber's on here. We haven't seen Amber in a while.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Amber. Welcome to the show. We're glad you're watching. So I'm going to take her, and then after that, stick around, everybody, for our announcements, and then we'll be done. So
and energy healing.
Yes. Oh, yeah. So stick around, because you don't want to miss this one. All right. Let me bring me up, and we're going to take the banner down because we're done with the readings for the night. Amber, so glad to see you, sweetie. So number one, here's your yesterday. Your yesterday is about not wanting to find your happiness. And I say this about people when we talk about happiness, that happiness is out there, and sometimes we don't want to find it. We're so stuck, or we're so content, or we're in our comfort zone of where we are, and we believe that that's as far as we're going to go. So this is about trying to find your happiness. Today, the Rise and Shine card is upside down. Let's get with it. Let's the gifts, the universe, life, everything is like, here you go, silver platter. But it's up to us to rise up to it. The universe doesn't bring it all the way down to us. Excuse me, we have to rise up to it. So what is that you're looking for? Is it the new project? Is it the new business? Is it the new thing that you haven't quite gotten to it? Because see, people, I tell you, there's a theme in the nights. There is the love card again. Why are we having such a hard time lately with love? And why are we not connecting to it? Because your spirit wants to start up again. Did we shut down our spirit for a while? And that's why it was hard for the universe to connect with us. And your heart is talking about connecting to the light. Now, I'm gonna disclaimer to everybody. I know Amber. I haven't seen her in a while, but I've known Amber for a while. And I'm just saying, like, connecting to your light, connecting to the universe, learns on that light, turns on the fun, allows love to come in. There is no way that love cannot enter a space full of light. And if you open that light, it'll come in for you, because it is time to blow off some of that steam. Here's the what we need to work on. It's about letting go of some of that extra stress that we no longer have. It's about stop worrying about things that we don't need to worry about just because we got so used to worrying about them. And the overall energy is, here you go. Oh, did I freeze? It's about starting new. I'm checking to see if I'm frozen, but seems like it's still playing. Can you hear me, Wayne?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There you are.
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
I froze. By the way, folks, when my energy gets really high, my technology messes up. So this could be that. It's all about starting new and starting fresh. So there we go. I'm watching on the monitor on my side to make sure that I'm doing it. We're so high tech here. We have monitors. So what it tells me is that this is your time to be happy, but you've got to turn your light back on. Let go of some of that extra energy that you are holding on to and stop doing the things that you're doing to stop love from coming into your life. Love has come, folks. Love will come. Love is like a tsunami, but it's up to us whether we accept it or not, because it's time to wake up and get with it and start some of these new things that you want to start for you. So make sure that you do that. I'm going to disconnect for a second.
It's funny, I could hear you, but then your video froze after we said you weren't frozen. So the technology is definitely messing with you, affecting you, tapping into you. So hopefully he gets that addressed and fixed. So until he gets back, why don't we go ahead and pop in to, yes, no, yes, there he is. We did it. You're back.
Okay, so you want to do your session.
So yeah, do you want to pull up the, I love it.
Where are we going?
The ads, you want to do ads, and then we'll do I was going to do the energy healing, but you pop back on, so. Beautiful. So this Saturday, we have our Rehutech Level 1 Practitioner Attunement Training and Certification course. Obviously, we've been talking about Rehutech throughout the day today. This is a full day, 10 a.m. to 5:30. We're holding it at Awakenings Bookstore in Laguna Hills. And the investment is $444. And we do have Afterpay and Klarna. So you can break that up into 4 separate payments to make it a little bit easier if money's tight for you. But what you'll receive permanent attunement to channel Rehutech energies, just as you've heard Daniel, Jocelyn, all of those that we've spoken about. You'll receive a physical Level 1 practitioner manual with access to video and audio files for your practice after the training. You get hands-on practice with knowledgeable facilitators, myself and Iris. Learn methods to integrate Rehutech into your daily life and join a community of Rehutech practitioners with our monthly events. So if you're interested in that, feel free to sign up on our website. You can go to my website and link to the Ascension Tech website. And then the other event that we have this week is actually tomorrow, the Power of Rehutech Intro. So if you're interested in becoming a practitioner, but you're not quite sure, you want a chance to kind of test drive the vehicle, shall we say, this is the perfect event for you. We're holding this tomorrow, 6 to 8:30 at Visions and Dream Bookstore in Costa Mesa. There's a $44 investment. We give you a brief introduction into Rehutech itself. We give you we teach you some methods to sense and perceive subtle energies. We give you an energy healing transmission, and then you receive a temporary 7-day attunement. And what we do is we give you 7 different practices so that you can implement this in your daily life and really feel the difference. We're so confident once you really feel the energies, you're going to want to move forward with that full attunement and training. So if you're wanting to find out more, if you want to feel what Rehutech may feel like without making that full leap in, tomorrow night's event is the perfect event for you. And then lastly, if you're interested in working with me in other ways, I have many, many services available. I offer intuitive tarot readings, whether online, in person at Awakenings, or over the phone. We also offer Rehutech energy healing sessions there in person at the shop or over internet. And I'm adding NLP sessions to my offerings as well too. So if you have some barriers with beliefs, with challenges, with wanting to change how you are shifting or addressing a situation, NLP session would be wonderful. And I'm happy to use NLP in other sessions as well too. So if that's something that's interesting to you, feel free to sign up for that. And of course, my other offerings that I speak about, space clearings, written dream interpretation. My chakra reset's going to be back in a couple weeks. So we'll speak more about that in future episodes. But if you're interested in working with me, check me out on my website, rwk2.com.
Cool. And I'll just give you my announcements. For those of you who want to continue on a bigger level with the alignment, whether you want to do a 1 package session, 3 sessions, or 8 sessions, we have the package for you. We do one-on-one groups, team building workshops, and in person. Just go to thealignment.net. and you can set up your appointment there. I also do card readings, Reiki sessions. I'm a spiritual coach, life coach, and we do group workshops and corporate events. So make sure. And the workshops some of them are written, some of them are coloring. So we have all kinds of stuff for you guys. Okay, so I'm going to step back for a second and let Wayne.
Beautiful. All right. So it is time. We have decided we're going to end each show with an energy transmission for all of you. You are able to feel this energy as it transmits out across the wavelengths. So simply all you need to do with this Rehu Tech energy healing transmission, this is a single intention that I'm going to set, and just sit back. Go ahead and close your eyes if you're able to. Get nice and relaxed. If you're in your car driving, please do not close your eyes. Keep driving. But go ahead, get relaxed, get into that receptive state, and you can even kind of repeat to yourself within, I'm open to receive. You can even say, I'm open to receive for my highest good. So we'll do this for just a minute. It'll be quiet, but we'll go ahead and start. So take that nice deep breath in, close those eyes, and here comes the energy. And so it is. Ooh, that was quite the boost that came through with that.
Sir, please keep your energy to yourself.
Watch out. What was the point not to?
Watch out where you're putting that energy, sir.
It's always for the intent of the highest good of whoever is receiving it. So I set the right intention, mister.
Is that what is it? Is that a Reiki in your pants, or are you just happy to see me?
Both. Yeah.
I just want to show the last comments. Amber says, makes so much sense. My focus on the wrong stuff. There you go. And she could see me as a person. Thank you. Needed that for sure. Well, we're glad you showed up. For everybody else watching, thank you for watching us today. Please tell your friends, tell your family. We are here every Monday at 5 o'clock for an hour and a half. Come and get your spiritual message, get your alignment, and the card readings. Again, if you are able and you received a reading and you are able to do it, we do accept donations. Just there's the card Devo, and we'll make sure we split them between us. Other than that, great to see y'all. Have a great week, and we'll talk to you next time.
Happy full moon. Happy Valentine's.
Bye. And that's where I end the show. There we go.